Okay. Right. George, who's behind the camera right now. I'll look at you. Why not? So start on me. Okay. Right. Quick game, guys. Right. There's 3 other blokes here. What are they wearing? What top are they wearing? What colour is that top? Got it? So.
Nice.
A coincidence, but I think we're pulling it off pretty well, guys.
Yep.
All black this week.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
You've gone with the collar, which means you're the northern one.
Does it?
Yeah.
It's
If
kind
there's
of-
a boy band, like you're the gangster one because you've got a
Am I?
necklace.
Oh, yeah.
You're labelless,
I'm labelless, so
It's
I'm
a chain,
sort
it's
of,
not a
I
necklace.
don't know, I'm like,
and I'm just a slave to branding.
just yeah, but the ladies like that.
Do
you know,
they?
and that's your thing, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Great Touch for a Big Lad. The podcast that is becoming consistent. That's the strap line for this one.
Yeah.
Good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good.
Hasn't it?
I'll draw
Regular.
it.
We've been regular. I hope you're enjoying it so far. The comments have been very good. Also, hope you enjoyed the tier list. Quite a response to that. Some people getting angry at all of us, really, at different times. Have you seen the tier list?
I haven't watched it yet, if I'm being honest.
Well, put the pressure
Well,
on.
Sounds like a dangerous thing
That's
to
what
do.
you can do later on your way on your journey
That's
home.
true, I'll do it on the way
Yeah,
home,
yeah.
Done.
We did it before Wesley scored.
Oh, is he
against
down the bottom?
Everton, possibly.
Okay.
You'll have to watch
Apply-
to find
apply
out.
Wesley.
2 tier list. One for Premier League managers.
Yeah.
Where was Steve Smith in that one? No, doesn't matter. There's 2 tier lists. One Premier League
Is he
managers,
good? Yeah.
one for strikers, and we're going to do others as well.
There's
So
a
let us
bit
know.
of a shout out for a defence and midfield equivalent, haven't there?
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
That's a
We
good
can do
idea.
My name is James Allcott. As you know, if you're watching this on my channel, James Allcott channel, I'm a QPR fan, season ticket holder. Craig is here. He's a Stoke City fan and season ticket holder, which you believe is very important. And you always
It is
give that
important.
nod. You always give
It
that
is
nod.
important because it's.
Why is it more important than us?
No.
Well, we'll get into all of that, Craig.
Not
Craig's
that.
got some strong opinions.
Just having a season ticket, I think it gives a different viewpoint to our perspective on the game. Would you agree?
I think
Yeah.
we're all, I think we're all
So
equal.
watching live
I think
games,
we're all equal.
watching regular games as
I
well.
think we're different.
Okay. Owen's here. Owen's a Chelsea fan, season ticket holder, and our guest this week, Dan Bardell, from the Villa View podcast.
Season ticket holder.
Season ticket holder.
Season ticket holder, good.
Crucially.
There we go.
It's important.
His
Is that a
second
new rule?
appearance,
No one likes
and one of our favourite debutants due to his pet hates. There will be lots of pet hates in this week's podcast, but we begin, and we'll be talking about some darker things as well, like Bury, of course, and what's happened there. But we begin with something dark as well. Steve Bruce is up to his old tricks again, writing fiction, which is bizarre.
Is he?
I didn't know about this until I come here today.
So the headline reads, this has come out in the press, I'm surprised it's not trending, Dean Saunders trending again today.
Yeah, but do you know why?
For different reasons. Yeah.
Not good things.
But here's the headline that we found out today. Criminally Bad, it's called. Newcastle boss Steve Bruce wrote 3 crime thriller novels that have become cult classics worth 200 quid on eBay. Now...
Wait, did these get published?
You
Yes.
buy them on Amazon. I've seen them on
You can buy
Amazon.
them on Amazon.
Yeah.
200
And you've
quid
got
per
many,
copy.
many copies of these.
I was thinking, like, why is he bothering writing these novels? But because if he needs something to fall back on after football, but to be fair, he gets a job every single time.
It's true.
He's
Yeah, that's
on,
true, that is
he's
true.
on the merry-go-round.
What I love about this is, so he wrote... When do you think he would have written these books?
You'd assume out of work that there's a bit of a gap after. Sunderland before Villa, I think. Was that right?
I mean, he didn't turn up to training much when he was at Villa, I don't think, so he could have done it while he was
Is that
supposed to be in
true?
training, to be fair. Yeah.
He was in the kebab shop, wasn't he, at the time? I'm sure he
He
spotted
lost a lot of
quite
weight,
a bit.
didn't he, as well, though, so don't... Fat shame. He actually did it whilst manager at Huddersfield Town.
That you'd be annoyed
Got-
if you
yeah.
about it a little
You've got to
bit.
question that.
Yeah.
Got to
true.
question
Yeah,
that.
but everyone needs a break. Between
It's a break and
1999...
he's writing a novel.
Right, 3 novels.
It's different.
The best thing about it...
Wait, how old are these? You're going to say 1999?
1999, between 1999 and 2000.
So
There's a
they're
picture, it says, in
they're
1999,
classics.
Steve Bruce flirted with the idea of becoming a writer.
He didn't flirt.
He flirted, full on did it.
Yeah.
So whilst managing Huddersfield Town, he then wrote the epic trilogy, Striker, Sweeper and Defender. So I think that's 3 separate books. He's called it a laughing stock, but 200 quid per episode.
Who's called it a
Pretty
laughing
impressive.
stock?
Brucey himself.
Well, he said his work is a laughing stock.
Yes.
Right.
It sounds like there's an opportunity here to do a few more. Because he's
yeah.
only done...
Give the
You know,
people-
he's done a few positions.
Has he got
He's
the
got a few
midfield?
more.
Yeah, Cam, you could do.
Yeah.
Inverted winger.
Yeah.
That'd be a great one. So it's written in the first person, so it puts you straight into the action of Barnes. So this I love the lead character is called Steve Barnes.
Steve Barnes. Okay.
Lazy, isn't it? It's so lazy. Restraining Extra Barnes is manager of the fictitious club Leadersford Town. I remember he was managing Huddersfield Town at the time. The lack of imagination is absolutely amazing. A small historic club aiming for Premier League promotion. They were in Division 1 at the time.
Or is he just trying to slag off Huddersfield Town secretly?
I don't know what he's trying to. So the plot is that it opens with Barnes finding a young Irish striker, Pat Duffy, stabbed to death in the dressing room.
Oh God!
Suspected of murder, Barnesy. Steve Bruce.
Suspected of murder. Yeah.
He has to clear his name, so he inexplicably decides to launch his own investigation whilst juggling his football career.
Okay.
So the bloke that's been accused of murder, he's on bail and he can continue to play. Is that right?
Yes.
He's got a fight.
So I guess there's not enough evidence yet, and so he needs to crack the case fast.
It's a bit like Dream Team with Carl Fletcher.
Similar situation.
That was around the same sort of time.
Yeah,
as well,
it was, yeah.
Actually.
So, he's faced with Irish mobsters and also becomes a target for a sniper.
Wow.
In the stands while managing his side in a top of the table clash against Fulham. Can be asked better. In the book's finale, neatly wrapped in 4 pages. The best bit though, which I'm about to show you both, so we'll get your reaction and then you can see it yourselves, is the front cover of the book, Striker, which I think it's a bit like Craycon draw, for anyone who doesn't know. And you struggle, what do you struggle with in particular? when drawing?
I struggle to get the perspective.
Perspective. Yeah, okay.
So you can't
do 3D.
Like, if mine was in distance, they wouldn't be. They'd be right up against.
Do you draw any stick men or?
Oh, big time. Well, you've seen this, haven't you?
Well, I've seen a few of them.
Struggles with proportions. Much like the person who made the cover art for the famous now famous book Striker, because look, you've got the ground there. It all looks fine. And then
oh my God! Has he been run over as well? Why is his body sunken?
It's a kit as well. It's Huddersfield, isn't it?
That's amazing.
What's
that on his legs as well?
Steve Bruce.
Looks like he's wearing.
Yeah, he's not pulled his socks up. That's his shin pads, isn't it?
Okay. That is.
Are we sure Steve Bruce didn't do the cover art?
Quite possibly, I don't know. It's a substitute Pat Duffy as well, which I think is a kick in the teeth. At least give him the number 9.
He literally got stabbed in the back.
Yeah, he really did. But like that's clearly a picture. But then the blood is just a blob of red.
Yeah.
Poor. Anyway, this leads us to our opening question.
Wow. God.
If you could, if there was a football novel. That would wet your lips, like striker, sweeper, or defender. What would it be? This came to me first. I'm happy to go first.
Yeah.
Although I think I've set the bar quite high here.
Do that, because I've not got a bar.
So here's the football novel I'd like to read. I would love. This could maybe become a thing. Let us know in the comments below just the title of a great football novel, and we can figure out the plot next week. So here's my one. It's called Cocaine Alley, the highs and highs of Diego Maradona. Diego Maradona, on some of his sort of drug-fueled nights, he gets a superpower, or he thinks it's a superpower, of the more cocaine he does, the more he would do. And he finds this superpower down an alleyway. Hence the name, Cocaine Alley, the highs and highs of Diego Maradona.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So I was thinking initially that was an autobiography, but clearly it's not.
No,
if you
it's
find
not
superpowers.
Yeah, well, it's ghostwritten by Steve Bruce, so you can be asked to think of another name. So just call him. Is Diego spelled E-A-D-E-A-G-O?
Okay.
Right, that's smart.
It's clever, that is.
Yeah.
I think you might get called out on that, but we'll see.
So that's mine. Yeah, Cocaine Alley, the highs and highs. Diego Maradona.
Very good.
Have you got one yet?
I have.
Creighton's struggling for one.
I'm
sweating. We'll come to you last.
Yeah, okay. I've got one, but
what you got?
I mean, I'm not a massive fan of receiving text messages half an hour before we're about to do the podcast.
I saw it 15 minutes before I got there as well. But hey,
I've kind of gone the Steve Bruce route. I had a quick looked at what the books were called and saw they were called Striker, Defender, whatever. This is really bad. So it's called False 999.
Brilliant.
That's better than mine.
That is
better than mine.
Yeah, you've won already.
Snappier, quicker.
I think the podcast peaked for this week, to be honest.
Yeah. Just for me, going around making prank calls to the police, basically, is the plot.
That's good,
That's all I had.
That's brilliant. That could be like, there was a call, but actually it stopped the police from going to an actual crime. So it was a false 999.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And then from that they then investigate it Where's the foot? All right, so
It's just for me. Just for me. No?
yeah.
That's
All
what
right,
he does in his spare time.
Yeah, it's Firmino's the main guy. That's good.
Thank
Go on,
you.
Owen. Try and follow that.
It's never going to be anywhere near as good as that. I was thinking, I initially misread it and I was thinking anything related to current footballers, and it kind of turned into an autobiography.
Yeah.
But we can make it into something else.
Okay.
One that I would be very interested to hear about, and I know you would as well. Mine would be titled Captain, Leader, Ladies Man.
yeah, the truth.
Yeah.
John Terry.
The truth of a top
well,
shagger.
Dan would love that as well.
I don't want to lie into John Terry too much.
Oh, I love him. But he absolutely. Well, you don't hate him.
Do you know what? I'm slowly warming to him.
I've warmed to him. I think he's alright, John Terry.
Yeah.
He's a pantomime villain, isn't he?
He's a
For
pantomime
QPR
villain.
fan.
I met him once and he was so sound.
Was
Yeah, but he is.
That's what everyone says. Yeah,
you
but
met him, used to
I have
free kit and whatnot.
free kit. We've got some kit from him before. Yeah,
that's lovely.
but he's just super. Comes across as a super nice guy. But there's obviously all these rumours and the stuff with Wayne Bridge's misses and everything else.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, but he is the pantomime villain, so that's why it would be interesting.
Leader, ladies man.
Yeah,
that's the truth, isn't it? That's what it should actually be.
But obviously, if he brings out an autobiography, it's not going to be that. He wouldn't do that.
I mean,
But
that would get good publicity.
I think it could be.
It's an option.
It's like a glamorous footballer who just goes around shagging the whole time.
Yeah, which is obviously fiction. So
Because
yeah,
he's
it's
a
another
captain,
way.
leader, ladies man.
Okay.
Craigie?
I wish I'd gone before these two now because yours are great and mine's even worse. I thought it's quite simply called
Pothead.
Sweeper Keeper. It's
Sweeper
the charming
keeper.
tale of a street cleaner sweeper
Yeah.
who when Saturday comes, Lee Fenber Sean
Yeah.
who makes it big for his local club as a keeper,
Yeah.
and thus making the transition from a literal sweeper to a keeper, and he makes it all the way to the Premier League World Cup.
Yeah.
Oh, I
I
thought
thought it
you
was
were
like an
going to...
emergency loan thing. They need someone. It's like
And
Boy S&O.
they see a bloke in the street just sweeping, and a little kid kicks a ball, and
Just catch the
scout,
can.
who the hell's
Maybe
that?
you could also... He's renowned for his sweeping as a keeper as well.
Yeah.
As in when he's playing.
Yeah.
Okay, he's just...
And the
comes
changing
out-
room needs cleaning and sweeping, and he
That's
just
good,
does
mate.
it.
That's all right. I think you're right. It is
Charming town.
Yeah, that would be rated you. But
Yeah,
I mean,
it'd be like one for all the family in that.
Yeah, the kids love it.
Yeah. What's his name?
I don't know. What's he called? Make a pun out of it if you want.
I'm thinking
I've
of
got
Trigger.
Trigger.
I'm thinking of Trigger. Right, we've done enough there. We've done enough. Well done. Let's know your footballing novels, fiction novels, and we can put a plot to it next week.
It's good. We do that. Maybe we do that every week or
I
something.
do like a grown
Someone will give
up.
us a title.
Saves
and
me
then
writing a
one of us does 30 seconds on the backstory
Yeah,
of it.
yeah, that's good.
Done.
That's a brief synopsis. Weekend roundup. How's Stoke getting on?
Last time I checked, we were rock bottom of the championship.
Do you know what?
About that,
I'm a bit.
It's
I'm
all
being-
about the League Cup, yeah.
I'm being a bit harsh with it all. And like, it's funny for me right now because I like Stoke will be fine, right?
I don't know. Well, that's the exact sentiment of the Stoke predicament. You know, when we're all in that position where we keep saying we'll get going. You know, you don't get going, and all of a sudden it's April, and you're like, I don't think we're going to get going here.
Yeah.
Do you think everyone keeps saying when they're referring to Stoke it's rock bottom? That's a bit harsh, isn't it? I know you are obviously but you're only 4 games in?
Yeah, I mean we are 4 or
5
5 games in. We're by no means cut adrift at all. It's just the performances. If we were playing well, you'd take that on the chin performances, but we're just not.
What did you go to? It was Leeds on the weekend.
Leeds at the weekend.
Did you go?
I think I saw this one and I watched it. I didn't go.
Oh, of course you watched it in the pub, didn't you? Illegally.
No, I watched Preston in the pub.
Okay.
I watched Leeds illegally.
That's a good order.
That's a novel.
Happy about
Legal
that.
streamer.
But you're not happy about it either. Just say you're not happy because you work at Scum.
You can't do that. You
Yeah.
can't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know what you need?
Go on.
You need a sort of sweeper keeper from somewhere that can come in and replace
Exactly.
John Paul
We need a
because he is
keeper.
having a nightmare.
We need a
It's
keeper.
just like everything. If you look at our squads, I still look at it and think that's a good squad. I've been saying this for like 2 years now. But it doesn't make a difference. Whoever we bring in, no matter what reputation, be it Ryan Woods, who was Bradford's
Yeah, he
player of the
was.
season, Jack Butland, who was breathing as number 1, number 2 worst. Everything. What's the opposite of everything you touch turns to gold? it's that. So everything.
Shit.
Everything that comes to Stoke is wrong. But I mean, I'm sure we don't want to dwell on Stoke's run. We're bad, but we are into the third round of the League Cup, which is what really matters.
The big one.
At the end of the day, isn't it?
Would you
No,
Go on.
on.
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People know. I really, if you are a proper football fan, you know what I'm asking there.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you want to spell out? Yeah,
No,
100%.
They should know.
Too right, because it's about that moment, isn't it? We'll bounce back from relegation.
In my experience, you can have a disastrous start in the Championship and still get in the playoffs.
Everyone keeps quoting the Norwich thing. I don't think Norwich won one of the first 6, and they went on to win the league.
Last season.
Yeah, something like that. So I'm clinging on to that, even though there's no correlation, there's no relevance, but I'm clinging on to it anyway.
We won about 1 game in 3 months last season.
There you go.
Yeah, there's loads of
You
that.
just stormed the second half
Yeah,
of the season.
won 10 in a row.
Yeah.
I mean,
Shouldn't need to be.
Magic
George
Chapman's
did.
easy. It's not.
Sunderland, right?
Go on.
They're the bottom of the league after 5 games. Played in red and white.
Yeah.
The team name started with S. Okay. They got rid of their manager. Brought in Roy Keane. Roy Keane won the league.
Is this the same Sunderland
Well, you
that
should-
got relegated from the Premiership, then got relegated from the Championship?
Yeah, but that was years after that. Roy Keane never took him down. That's what you need to do.
Or get Boyd.
Because do you know what the problem with Nathan Jones is? He's too nice and modern. Stoke City is not that kind of club. You need, and Allardyce is too old now, so you need someone kind of in the middle. Who's a proper man's man.
Chris Hughton.
Chris Hughes.
No, you don't want Chris Hughton.
He's got experience. He's got
You want
experience.
Roy Keane. I've just told you.
You do not want Roy Keane.
He's a great man manager.
Yeah,
Pulis back. He's not.
There's Pulis.
Pulis
They
in.
did the latest managerial ads in Hughton's #1. Not that Jones has gone. Pulis 7-2. This would be some fair spell.
Did he have a good relationship? Has he got a good relationship with the owners?
Oh yeah, best
Oh,
mates.
mate,
Even
that-
when they departed
yeah.
ways, it was like a nice little.
That will happen.
You got that
It'll be until the end of the season, and then the saviour, and he comes up and he wins
would-
his little hat at the end of the season and go up.
Split off that racing too.
You think?
Yeah, big time.
Really?
Moved on from there.
Yeah.
We had Jack on the pod last week talking about City, and he was excited about the game against Chelsea, and he wasn't. He was like, "We're not afraid. I think they could do something." It was a good
I
game.
think that was quite apparent.
Yeah.
I only watched the first 60 minutes because I had to go elsewhere.
Right.
But
Where
it
did
was.
you have to go? Just
Well,
intrigued. now.
Yeah, that's
I went to I hate saying this, but I went to England, Ireland in the rugby.
Oh, you.
You look so embarrassed. It's not that big a deal.
No,
You did hide it for a reason.
But it's not football. It's not football.
No,
is
it isn't.
No, I was with clients. It was a work thing, and I had to go. And I just like
You were sick
gripping
when
on the
you were
side
vomiting, weren't
of
you?
the bar. I didn't want to go.
Sure.
I watched the first 60 minutes. I thought it was a great game. Both sides just going for it, open, very open, open from both sides really, in a good way and a bad way. Defensively, we don't look that wonderful, but we're playing some great football in the middle of the park. We're creating a lot of opportunities, and we've started finishing them off as well.
Yeah, Matt's doing well.
Matt's doing well, and Tammy Abraham. I was talking about that before the game. I mean, you saw him a lot last season.
Yeah.
You've got, I'm sure, everyone. I know a few Villa fans as well, and they have nothing but good things to say. He needed that because everyone was saying Giroud should start. He's better at holding the ball up, brings others into play. I think all Abraham needed was one goal, and I think now he will kick on.
I think what's crucial as well is that it's great to get a brace, but it was a proper goal. It wasn't like
both of them
were
were proper goals. Both of them were great goals.
Yeah.
But yeah, his second goal where he's takes it out of his feet, takes on someone else, and just booms it from 20 yards. That's the first goal he's ever scored from outside the box.
He's playing outside the box.
So that's another thing as well.
So in the tier list, we talked about Tammy Abraham, but we were kind of a bit lost with where to put him.
In Championship
He's
at
good.
best.
He's good. I can't remember where we ended up with
I
him.
was talking to Dom about it. I think he said Championship at best, or is
I
he
think-
good?
Yeah, he's good. But is he good? It doesn't matter. Anyway, in the comments, a lot of people kind of confused and comparing him to sort of other strikers and going, how can you have him and not have it? So if someone who saw him last season, scored a lot of goals at Championship level, and you have a good understanding of that jump up to the Premier League, how good do you think he is?
For Chelsea's ambitions this season, I'm speaking as if I know what they are. You will know more than me, but I would say it's probably top 6, and maybe a cupper and do all right in the Champions League. To be there, I'd say Chelsea would need another striker, a top striker, a goal scorer. But Tammy will come in, and in games like that against Norwich, He will score goals.
Yeah.
The guy is a finisher, and I bet you tomorrow when the England squad's announced, I would imagine he would be the third striker.
Do you think?
I'd imagine so.
I might be a little bit too early. I don't know.
I kind of hope he doesn't, because it annoys me when they just get to go in because they play for a top 6 club.
Well, and he just scored 2
It
goals.
does happen.
Yeah, if he played for anyone outside the top 6, he's not.
You
in
wouldn't
the
do it,
squad.
would you? Yeah.
I mean, we could probably find an example of an English striker that scored 2 goals this year that's not the England squad outside the top 6. There will be one, won't there? Surely.
What, in the Premier League squad?
Yeah, an English striker outside of the traditional top 6 that scored 2 league goals this season.
I can't think of one.
I can't
Yeah, I think you're struggling, mate.
I don't know.
But you know my point.
Yeah.
It's happened in the past. I think it's a little bit too early, but yeah, I was super impressed with him because not written him off. That's not the right word, but I wasn't not overly convinced.
Yeah.
Whether he was the whether he was the right the right choice for us. I thought it was a little bit lightweight first couple of games, but I really do think he'll kick on from that. I'm super impressed with Mason Mount continuously as well.
Sorry, because I bet people were screaming. And so if you did do a comment and said this name and then just put the little edit and go, yeah, James, I did do it before that. Ashley Barnes.
Oh, he's got.
Oh, is he Welsh?
He's Austrian.
He's Austrian.
Yeah.
Oh, is he Austrian?
Yeah.
He's not.
I don't know who's paid for him, but he's definitely.
He's Austrian, yeah.
He's not Welsh. If you're thinking Vogue.
No, he's Austrian, which I remember hearing that only the week. I thought, what?
Yeah,
Him and Outovich up front is the call, but they're not.
Really?
They're not doing it.
Wait, so he's not played for them yet, or
I
He
don't-
hadn't done.
They're weird.
You think he would get in there?
so he's still?
Yeah.
Andy Bowman's played for
Yeah.
Austria.
He's not. Oh, he's played for the under 20s once back in 2008.
Yeah.
I like
remember
Ashley
that
Barnes.
one.
I like Ashley
So he
Barnes.
said he's English.
No,
He's available.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's available.
Okay, so there you go.
I he was Austrian as well, but
Yeah.
I don't know what the link is.
I've just seen it on Football Manager as I
It
say.
says, well, place of birth, Bath, England.
Which is the gospel, right?
Anyway.
Yeah,
That's
Football
everything.
Manager says
It's always right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So Ashley Barnes. Yeah, Ashley Barnes is a great example.
Okay.
You know, as a Burnley
Well,
striker.
why isn't he getting there?
Wrong
Age, I
age, I
You
guess.
never know.
Wilson.
Yeah.
So Wilson.
Southgate does discriminate age-wise, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does.
That's why I think he might call Tamio. He's worked with him in the under 20,
Yeah.
21s, I presume. as well.
True.
You know, it might be a bit early.
Well, he's going
He's
to
been
call
here
up.
before.
He's played under Southgate.
Yeah.
Mm.
Is that they're saying that Mount's going to get a call up
He'll definitely get
as well?
His
So
goal
it kind of
against
makes.
Norwich was brilliant.
Yeah, he's
It's
great. He's such a good finisher as well, and he's he's played every Premier League game so far, which is great. You know, Lampard's continuing with him, and he's got a couple of goals in his last 2 games. So
Sheffield
I'm
United's a
super
great
excited.
opportunity as well. Sheffield United at home.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that game this weekend. Just because again, now we've got that win under our belt, pressure is off a little bit.
Yeah.
I think we can kick on, and I think Sheffield United have had a fairly decent start as well for the season. So I think it'd be a tough game, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
It was in the Championship. I think when you see those players who are just a little bit better, it's their movement for me. And Mason Mount, he actually didn't do much in the game against the QPR last season, but you were like, you were just waiting for them to get the ball to him because his movement was really, really smart.
Yep.
He's a really intelligent player.
Yeah, another one that was actually really good on the weekend. I just wanted to do a quick shout out was Kovacic, who
Yeah,
looks like
different role.
he's suddenly found that position where it's, you know, he's not spearheading the midfield and he's not sitting deep. He's just kind of running in between, and he is doing just that. He's running with the ball. He's bringing people into play, picking out passes. And last season you just couldn't work out what he was. That's why I said, maybe we shouldn't sign him on a perm because. Again, I don't know what he's bringing, but it's kind of changed it up a little bit.
Do you know what I thought was clever with that move with him? Is probably he's not got enough dribbling ability to dribble through tight spaces into tight spaces, if that makes sense. So like we've got Bury or those attacking midfielders who, Jack Grealish is a good example, he could get the ball in really tight areas for a while and kind of wriggle out of that stuff. I'm not sure he's got that, but you saw it in the highlights. He's got enough of a burst and enough technical ability to, when there's a lot of pressure, because when you are that holding player, if you lose the ball, you're in trouble.
Yep.
But he's confident enough to get out of the first little press. But then once he does that, there's just like a lot of space.
Yeah.
Like he's not going into more and more sort of pressurised situations. And then he has got the quality to play a good pass. So I think they might have found something there, because that might be a really good fit. But I guess the problem you've got is Jorginho wants to play there.
We didn't have Kante on the weekend. There's options there though, and there's going to be a lot of games this season. So I think it's, we're going to have to change it up at times. We play Champions League.
Giroud's got to be sick of getting his own hopes up, doesn't he? He just can't get
But
stuff.
he will get games though.
Yeah, but he wants.
He's got Champions League coming in.
I bet he's dying just to be the striker that they go to any club That, you know what I mean? He just starts that start. Because how old is he now?
He's 33.
So he's not consistently started as the main striker for, as far as I can remember, the best part of 5, 6, 7 years. Is that fair? Is that right?
Yeah.
Must be right for his peak.
To be fair though,
France.
you know, last season he was utilised when we had Hazard because those two linked up very nicely. I fail to see who he will link up with in the same way this season to bring someone else in. I think it is more of a team, so we need we need more of a finisher, someone that's actually going to score, and that's probably more Tammy than Giroud. I love Giroud, but he just never seems to.
He doesn't go beyond either. He hasn't got any pace at all. Abraham can get going a little bit.
Well, Tammy would be like the flat track bully that they play in the games at home, where you expect it to be like
Potentially.
Southampton at home, Brighton at home. Tammy, I see Tammy as the flat track bully, the one they'll chuck in for those games. Champions League, you've got an away game, you want to keep it tight, you play Giroud because he'll hold onto the ball.
You get a shot, you put the ball in the box, and he'll win a header and potentially score a goal.
Giroud's one of my favourite players in the Prem.
I think he's great. He's a little bit limited, just to your point, but he'll get games this season. He'll get goals. He'll get assists. He always does. So
especially when Hudson-Odoi comes back as well, that'll be helpful.
He'll be a key part of the squad this year.
We'll keep on trucking down the line. Aston Villa got a win, which is great.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Here's a little quick pet hate. People using your record the season you went down against you in this season. It's so weak, isn't it? It's so weak.
Who's been saying that?
Everyone was on it. There was a terrible Daily Mail article about Jack Wilshere and Jack Grealish and about their careers and how Jack Grealish can't get a win in the Premier League. And it was 2 games in, it was ridiculous.
It was also 3 years ago, and he was coming off the bench every week.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And he was drunk.
Did you
go to the game?
Yeah.
Friday.
I did. Yeah.
Sounded like a cracking atmosphere as well.
Atmosphere was unreal.
Sky were loving it as well.
Yeah.
Like Neville was so happy to be back. As we were saying earlier, it's my favourite away ground.
Villa Park.
I love it.
Do you appreciate? Obviously, you're a Villa fan, so you might not get. I think Villa Park is maybe the most universally loved ground in the country for non-Villa fans.
I know
I
Man
don't
U
know
fans.
anyone doesn't like it because they always win that.
Do you think it's the FA Cup semi-final as well?
It was the neutral ground, wasn't it?
It,
went.
it looks brilliant.
Do you think that going down? Do you think there's an element of it that was good for when people were talking about Villa Park and how great the atmosphere was on Friday? You kind of understand what you've got again there, because that was the other thing with Villa Park is it became very stale, the atmosphere.
I mean, we got 17 points the last time we were in the Premier League.
That's
every week was horrible. You knew you were going there. No chance of when you knew you were going to get beat every week. So I think going down, we were down there for 3 years, but I think it did cleanse the club a little bit. I mean, obviously we've had 2 sets of owners in the Championship as well. These new guys know what they're doing. They've made some great decisions. And to be fair, Dean Smith deserves a lot of credit because he's a Villa fan. He's made a Villa fan captain. Everything just feels as one now, which had not been the case for a long, long time at Villa. And it wasn't like a league game on Friday. It was weird. It was like being at Wembley again. The atmosphere was just this big part.
Friday night.
If we can carry that over through the season, because home games will be important. It's worlds away from where we were last time we were in the Prem.
Yeah, I watched the game and I watched it with Dom who does this, and he's a Brentford fan. And he was just loving the fact that Potter started. And that assist for the goal as well was beautiful. That slide ball, I imagine he went pretty wild when that went in. Yeah,
I was more relieved for Wesley. It was a bit like Tammy, where you score for a couple of games, it becomes a thing.
It's a story,
he's new to the country. He's new to the Premier League, new to the Villa team. We've got a lot of new players. We had a tough first game at Spurs. Bournemouth did a job on us. You're never going to hit the ground running for the first few games. He played a bit differently on Friday, and I think he was dropping too deep, and now he was running in behind a little bit more against Everton, and he took his goal well, and he looks like he could be a bullet.
Yeah, he's a bit of a handful. He's a big guy. Yeah, he's quick as well, which you didn't think he would be.
A great thing about football, but also something that gets wiped away in 90 minutes, is that we do it every week on the podcast. You go, oh, okay, there's a factor there, there's another factor there. Oh, they spent a lot of money. Who spent a lot of money? Right, okay, there's an opinion that I can get from that, and you make an assumption. Yeah. And so the Fulham thing with Villa, and that's not dead and buried yet, because there are there's been a lot of players that you've had to bring in because a lot of players have gone. But are you seeing Was it almost a relief of the Everton game to see a bit of chemistry there, or had you seen it before in the Everton game?
There were moments at Spurs on the break where I thought we looked dangerous. The Bournemouth game, we just got off to a terrible start. We given 2 goals in the first 10 minutes, and we created a lot of chances in the Bournemouth game. I think we had 26 shots. I think we had 60% possession against a team like Bournemouth that are possession based. So you could see the signs in the Bournemouth game, but I was relieved to get a clean sheet because the 2 centre backs have actually played really well in every game. That they deserve the clean sheet.
Fans love Mings, don't they?
Mings is a titan. I've never seen anything like him. And we've had some good centre backs, but
that was
he's just
one
so unique.
prediction someone said was that he'll be in the
England squad.
in the England squad for 2020.
I think he might get a go this season in the England squad. I'm not sure whether he'll make the final 2020 squad. 26.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I mean there is like John Stones isn't playing, is he, for City really? I don't know if he's injured. Maybe I'm wrong, but
he's just
I feel like I get next to Maguire. I feel that there's a position up for
Gomez,
grabs.
isn't it? Bijoy's injured.
Yeah,
It'd be interesting to see if he's in the squad as well, the England squad.
I can't see him getting in tomorrow. He's left-footed, which is an advantage. It always helps having a natural left-footed centre back in football that Southgate wants to play. And he is really good on the ball. He's quick. He's powerful. It sounds like I'm talking about Wesley again, but he's quick. He's powerful. He reads the game well. He is an absolute warrior. He just gets Aston Villa and he gets the fans everything he does.
That's amazing, isn't it? That when players are not that it went terribly wrong Bournemouth, but players can go to a different club and it doesn't work, and then it just goes somewhere and it just clicks and fits.
Yeah.
Well, he picked up where he left off in the Championship, definitely.
Yeah.
His first 3 games.
I think I said when we did our predictions early in the season, I thought it was a lot of money to spend on a player that Bournemouth didn't want.
They knew they could do it. How well he did. That was the problem.
But clearly it's working out massively well for Villa. You've got to 20. Let's say it's 25 million for a big centre back that's is 25, 26 is good business really.
You're paying a premium as well, but because he's English, because they knew we wanted him. But it's so important when you buy someone who already knows the place.
Yep.
He's already a big character in the dressing room. If we'd have not had him this season, it would have been a catastrophe.
Yeah.
Because he's a big presence in the dressing room, and because we've got players like Whelan, who you'll know well, Jedinak, who are big parts of the dressing room over the last few years, but would never have been good enough for the Premier League.
Yeah.
You need the big characters in there, and Mings is. I know Grealish is the captain, but Mings is the real leader within that team now.
Yeah. Well, it'd be interesting to see. Where do you think you'll end up?
I said 11th, 12th at the start of the season. I actually think all 3 promoted teams will stay there. I think all 3 have got something about them.
Started right.
Yeah, they've all got systems. They've all got managers that have got an identity and they know how to play. I genuinely think all 3 will stay.
I think Norwich will go through like waves.
Yeah.
Where they're like, they're scoring loads of goals and they're harmless, so we can all like them. Then there's no problem there, and then they just get pumped.
They're very likeable. They do seem to just have one way of playing, and that will work well at times, but will be detrimental.
It's not that going in, didn't we? They've got that philosophy of attack. If they concede in the process, so be it. They've conceded, admittedly, Liverpool away, but they've conceded quite a few goals.
Yeah, you're right.
So I put Pookie in my dream team.
That is fucking me off. That's winding me up.
I had him on the hat week. Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's the one thing that's making me start to dislike them. Because I haven't got him in, and I've tried to work out, I can't afford him either.
Yeah, he's 6
and
million.
He stopped scoring, it's ridiculous.
I can't work him out, Puka.
He's good.
I couldn't work him out in the Championship. I thought there's no way that's going to carry on.
Joyce,
Then he comes in the Premier
Everyone
League.
said that is kind of like, is he actually any good? And then just bangs in the goal.
Apparently, there's a security guard at work. He's a Celtic fan, and Puka was at Celtic. He said he never got a game. He used to come on in midfield, right back, just a complete utility.
Because he paid his subs.
Yeah,
so
basically just a utility man. And then he said he'd never have seen this coming.
He's got 5 goals and 4 goals in. Actually, no, it's 5.
5, yeah.
Goals,
Top scorer in the league. Yeah. So still to come, some of your Twitter questions. We'll play that game. Is that goal better than Henry's volley against Man United? Great game. Previously known as, is that goal better than Beckham's goal from halfway line?
Yeah.
And we'll talk about Bury, okay, don't worry. But just to lighten the mood before we go into that, because it is devastating. Pet hates. Irwin. Oh, we're not going to do that one because that's Dom's.
Yeah, we'll save it for next week. We'll save it for next week. It's to do with some of the new rules that have come in and whether they're being enforced or not. And also, I think Dom, and we all need some clarity around the actual rules.
Yes, absolutely. So we can tackle that. Actually, staying on that pathway, my pet hate this week is the phrase "clear and obvious," and the use of it from anyone who's like, I don't really know. It's such a VAR is creating this huge grey area, but ultimately, it's a lot of the decisions are right, but sort of annoyingly right, and. And the thing that pundits are using to get around it is going, like, I'm all for VAR. But they've said to us it needs to be clear and obvious. And that, for me, is not clear and obvious. And that's just like, it's pundits like drifting back towards some ambiguity to kind of give them something to talk about. And I'm just getting sick of that phrase. Like, you'll hear it now. Everyone's just talking about clear and obvious.
But that's what the FA, that's what the referees have used initially. So people have just picked up on that.
I know.
But it is annoying. There were a few decisions over the weekend that were questionable that probably should have been overturned.
You say they were clear and obvious though.
I mean, I can't see many decisions that are more clear and obviously a penalty than the Harry Kane.
It's insane.
And
that
it
makes
got
you question VAR. If they're getting that wrong, which it was wrong, it just underlines everything.
So it got reviewed and they just said, okay, so it's...
They're kind of saying that, like, it's not a mistake from the referee.
Yeah.
It's a bit ambiguous, but it's not a mistake from the referee. But if you get the
I
ball,
hate it.
he wipes him out.
Getting the ball, he's falling over, but it's a clever one, isn't it? Because he just kind of...
They can see that it's a clever, but they can see that it's a clever one on the the footage. It's weird.
I 100% thought it was going to be given, and I thought it was hilarious when they didn't. But
Commentators thought it was going to be given as well.
Yeah.
They were saying no.
Everyone did.
There's no way it's not going to be given.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my one. Craig, you got one?
Quite simply, false dawns in football. I'm sure we've all been through it where your team's going for a bit of a rough patch, not winning, being relegated, whatever. Do you ever get the moment where you perform really well in a game and you look around and go, we're back? Then the next game, you just get torn apart and then you just can't get that. Stoke have had so many false dawns over the past 18 months. The amount of times I've gone to my family and friends who I go with, after you put a really good performance, go, right, now we're going to start the promotion.
What's the most recent?
So the most recent one, we played Derby at home. We drew 2-2. There were some slight errors here and there, but we, for 65, 70 minutes, battered them in an attacking sense. We were brilliant. I thought, right, the Jones philosophy, the diamond, I get it. I can see what he's doing. 4 days later, and all the fans like, here we go. 4 days later, we played Preston away. Lost 3-1. 2-0 down after about 10 minutes. And it's just like, but that was another one. We must have had so many. It's so frustrating.
I think the problem for you with the football is
so
with the budget and the money.
Yeah.
You've got this name and this name and this name and this name. Do it.
But there was
So you're expecting, whereas I'm like, well, we're QPR playing like really good stuff at the moment. I'm like almost don't say anything.
Yeah.
Like, this is really enjoyable.
You're not the opposite though of when's it going to go wrong. You're waiting for it to go wrong. You're not thinking you've got
I don't think I'm
you're not
set that
waiting
way. I don't think I'm set that way. I think I'm pretty chilled either way.
You won on the weekend.
Yeah, I beat Wigan 3-1. Played brilliant.
So you got 7 points from 5 games?
7 points for 4 games, isn't it?
5.
No, 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad at all, is it?
Doing alright. Some from you guys in the comments. Connor O'Mara, his pet hate is people not differentiating between Bristol City and Bristol Rovers and just referring to them both as Bristol.
I mean, that's a classic pet hate from an era ago. It'll forever persist. And likewise,
United and City.
the commentators saying, it's United City. There's a team that's called Stoke City. I did this pet hate about 6 years ago. And it drives with the wall. It's ridiculous.
Well, don't tell that because we're recycling stuff. GM, pet hate, keepers who wear caps. I get where you're going with that.
If it's sunny,
But it's necessary.
It's a pet hate.
It's necessary, but it doesn't look great.
Chris
I just don't really like the look.
Chris Kirkman looked
Yeah,
at it.
you just look like a bit of an
It
egg.
doesn't happen very often, but you kind of
It is
you might
rare,
have to.
but if
at
it's
times.
sunny, you can't.
Wear sunglasses? Does that ever come in? Sunglasses.
Probably should do actually.
Why
Yeah,
not?
yeah, could do. Dad, you had one as well, didn't you?
Yeah, so probably I'm the only person in the world that cares about it though, I would think. It's
What,
just when
what's the rest of
it's
them?
on Twitter, club pages, when they just try and fit in with the football Twitter
The
people and
banter,
they
yeah.
bit of banter. Andros Townsend called out Crystal Palace. I think it was yesterday or the day before for taking the mick out of Ashley Young.
Yeah.
And on the
so-
video he's actually blocked the cross, but
Yeah,
Crystal
yeah,
Palace
yeah.
are trying to milk him off. I can't be doing with all this admin deserves a pay rise when the tweets come out and stuff like that. 'cause
Yeah.
I just want my club's Twitter page to be run by an adult.
It's
Yeah.
That's all I want from it. I want it to just give me information.
Yeah,
I don't want to be
yeah,
trying to have banter with Roma's Twitter account and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Do you know what it's not a pet hate, but I'm just like, is the when there's a goal and it's the player game.
Oh God, yeah.
That's not really bothered.
That's well annoying. That
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. That's what that is.
I've got a pet. We need to do a pet hate podcast one day where we just start.
If we can get enough pet hates,
I will do.
if I get 15 pet hates, we're gonna pet hate.
Pet hate podcast. Off the back of yours, Dan, as well. When soccer ended, when they do the showboating thing and players doing skills, that's amazing. But the clip often ends with the player losing the ball, getting tackled. It's like, that's pointless. Do you know what I mean? So similar to the one you said, I think it was making, what was it?
I see.
Yeah, he's on the
Right.
He did one bit, but then...
it was pointless, brilliant. Yeah, either cut it before it gets blocked to the deflection, or
so
don't
mean.
play it.
Yeah, don't show them missing.
Well, the skill is only as good as the outcome, for me.
Yeah.
It's true, just step overs all you want. If you can get the ball in or a shot off, it's
Yeah,
pointless.
okay.
There's a guy, I can't remember what game it was in, he went on a worldie run, like unbelievable, I don't know whether you saw it, and then just as he was about to shoot, he fell over. And then someone else knocked it in. Anyway, I think it was unbelievable. But he got the mick taken out of him, but at the end of the day, they still scored. It's an assist, I think.
Going on Craig's rule, the outcome,
exactly.
it was fine.
Or just cut it off before he falls out. And then we never know what happened.
Right, bit of a gear change. Bury and Bolton's demise. Although, breaking news, Bolton seems like they've been saved.
They take over from that Football Ventures we thought they made up.
Yeah, which we thought was a very precarious name.
Made
Just
up
sounds
company.
like something from a Steve Bruce novel.
Yeah, Football Ventures.
Yeah.
So I can't help but think that could easily turn the way things are going. I swear I heard that Bury was saved several times last week.
Yeah, but this is now apparently it's actually gone
Is
through.
this happened?
The sale, it's fully gone through.
That's good.
So that's great news for their safe.
So I mean, let's focus on Bury then, because I think I put a tweet out today. I'll read this from Himalayan Tiger 5. It says, actual serious discussion on the role clubs play in the community. It says, what is happening at Bury has been in the news. I've been thinking about the work clubs do, like Everton, Liverpool, etc. Every club. QPR, it's something that I'm very, very proud of. Our community trust has won a lot of different awards. It's stepped up after Grenfell. It's the stadium this year has been named after a lad who was in our under-16s, Kyle Prince, and the foundation that was made up to him.
Great, keep on my work, I tell you that. Because I work for the Addictions charity, and they did a thing with my work to kind of get people that are struggling into the club and as well.
And the only reason I say that is because I am very proud of it, but also because it's so important. Two, it can be so valuable to people in those communities. And then that just that highlights how devastatingly painful this must be for a club, for any club. But for a club that's got such history like Bury, for this to happen to them, I was just absolutely devastated for that community. And what I tweeted out saying, I can't imagine not having my club. I think Henry Winter put it this way. He said it's a weekly emotional engagement going to your football club. And look, someone made a comment underneath because I was saying these Bury fans. It's almost even more painful going. Oh, actually, I don't want to compare it. But for them, being a Bury fan is not. You're not there for the wins. You're there for the community. You're there for the microcosm of that moment of scoring a goal and celebrating with people that you care about, and because it's your team, not because you chose one.
Yeah. 4 months ago, got promotion. It's
if you really put yourself, and that's what football fans should do a lot of the time, and I think we're far too quick to do the opposite, especially on social media. Put yourself in that position of not having your club anymore, and the relationships you have.
Yeah, you just can't imagine.
I don't know that, but all us three up with our parents.
Yeah,
that's the main reason I see my dad. Is going to that because it is that appointment. I just think it's just devastating.
What I read about it, which really kind of made it hit home. I imagine that Bury will reform in some kind of form and fight their way back for the leagues. I hope. You never know. But I hope that happens.
I don't think that's possible.
I do worry, but you look at some clubs that have done it. But I remember reading the article, so I assume that will happen, and hopefully it does soon. And they get come back. But I remember reading the article where it just said, "So Bury for the rest of the season have gone. At least next season they might have a new club to go with. Literally for the season,
they can't do anything.
They've gone. There's no games to watch as a Bury fan. There's no option. There's nothing now for the next 9 months. I just thought."
What do you do?
It's so
What
weird. What do you
do?
It sounds a bit like, for non-football fans to like roll their eyes and go, what do you do? You do something else. But it doesn't work.
No.
What do you do?
They need to get the ground saved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who owns that? Is
I've
it
got
Steve
clue.
Dale? And what was it, the image of all the Bury fans going to clean the seats is soul-destroyingly heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's tragic, isn't it? They're all there with mopping buckets and cleaning the
And
seats.
the thing is as well, it's changed so quickly in the last couple of days because it all seemed like it was, that
Saved.
they'd been
Saved,
saved
yeah.
and they found a new owner and investment, and then it just suddenly turns and then they're gone.
It does feel so final. You can't. I mean, you can try and come back from that, but I think to make your way through those leagues, you need money.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that's going to come. And it's probably not going to
The
be the same.
example I look at is Chester City, who went out of business several years ago, and
The last club was Maidstone.
And they were non-league Chester when they went out, but they've, dare I say it, Chester weren't big enough to come back with real bravado and gust like maybe Wimbledon did. And I worry the size of Bury might be a hindrance to them really coming back as what they are now. Because
Yeah.
League One's a good level.
Yeah.
It's a good level. It's not like it's
League
non-league.
One's
Well,
yeah.
that takes a hell of a lot of work.
Stoke are only one place off.
We are. We are.
Yeah.
They
Yes,
give it
true. Bolton were playing in another division last season.
Of course
We
they
played
were.
against them last season.
It's tragic.
incredible.
I remember this is a bit weird and a bit random to this point, but I feel it can't really be relevant because you look at the money in football and sort of stuff. I remember when I only went to see Stoke play Bury in the league game in the early noughties. We just got relegated to League One, I think it was, and we went away to watch Bury. My dad and my brothers. Still sticks me this. I remember going into the Bury club shop just because we had a bit of time to spend, just about whatever. And there was this gobsmacked still. There was a Man United section in that club shop.
Really?
My dad had a row with one of the very store owners. I mean, not them directly, but like he was a bit like, "What the hell's going on here?" And they said, "We haven't got money.
Whatever keeps you
We-
going."
We
Yeah.
need whatever keeps
Yeah,
going."
I get
And
it.
that breaks my heart still.
That's different as
Horrible.
well.
There was
though,
people
like those
campaigning
work.
against it, and we don't want to play that sort of show.
So Debbie Jevons, who's the EFL executive chair, she's talking about a few lessons that need to be learned from it. So a couple of things she's talking about is one, saying the club should consider salary caps,
Yeah.
and I think that obviously it's always going to be more complicated than we can dive into now, but that feels like something quite obvious throughout the leagues for me, and it would allow for probably a lot of surplus money to go somewhere. Like things like the PFA were paying for the wages for a lot of the Bury players. I think giving loans out and things like that, and that comes from a pot of money that you save for these kind of things. And I think, EFL, Premier League, everyone there needs to be more thought in this, because it's such a stain on the entire English game. It's such a stain on it for that to happen, both in terms of stopping it from happening in the first place, but then allowing it to get to a point where a club doesn't exist anymore.
I feel like we're sitting here and essentially there's nothing to do with us. We care. I'm talking about it. It upsets me to talk about it. But the people that run the game, I don't feel like they really care.
I was saying this to my dad, who used to be a financial director, so he kind of keeps an eye on those kind of things. And he was saying that, because I was saying that an obvious thing, I think sometimes you have your yearly reports and things like that, and you can keep an eye on how much money a club is spending. But I was saying that should be done maybe every 6 months. And my dad was saying that it to a point it is. You have to forecast what you're spending, and they are on them quite a bit. But I guess it just needs to be stricter, because the number one point is that this can't be happening. And so if that means everyone can't spend a certain amount of money, make the call. Because there's been these moments with QPR, and I think what happens a lot is that you go, oh, until this time, we were 40 minutes from going out of existence. I know QPR have had that. And Aston Villa.
We had it last summer.
Yeah, exactly. But it always seems to work itself out.
It does, doesn't it? And it becomes a little bit, you become snowblind to it, it desensitised to
Yeah.
the stories.
And I hope that the only good thing that can come from this is that, you're using that word cleanse earlier, Mark Walbert was saying it on the debate, he was saying that you hope that this is the shock that both the EFL and all these, there's got to be other clubs that are being run a similar way,
Dozens of them.
that it sort of cleanses their minds of going for those promotions and those things because it is not worth it.
No.
They're better off being in League Two and safe there and still having a football club.
Yeah.
But this is such a cliche comment, isn't it? It's been said all the time. This fit and proper person's test. How long have we been saying this needs to be revamped because it's obviously not
It
working?
got revamped once.
Should it?
It's clearly
Should
not
it also not be a continuous thing? It's not just when they're looking to buy a club. Should they not be reviewing it regularly?
Well, yeah, they should. Of course they
To
should.
August's
Check
point,
the owners
is it
down.
something every 6 months?
Yeah,
Is it every year? Is it analysing not just the club but that person or that group that owns it as well?
Right, enough of the sad stuff. Okay, cheer yourself up, mate, with a football tournament.
Okay.
Do you know what a football tournament is?
I think you did
Can
tell
you
me
figure
last
it out?
time, but
Can
I
you figure it
forgot.
out? Football tournament.
I mean, I'm imagining it's something you like about football.
He's got it. So if one comes to your mind, and let us know, Dan, as a guest. Archie Keane said this in the comments last week. Full turn on. Any plain kit with a diagonal stripe down the front of the shirt, aka, is that right? E.g. Peru 1970.
Haven't Palace got one?
Yeah,
It's
they
not
have.
very
Palace
good.
is
I don't
very
like
good.
it though. So there you go, I've ruined it.
I kind of like that.
I know where he's coming from, but
Yeah,
it's not
okay.
a universal rule I follow.
Is there any niche element of a kit that you like to see?
Just as plain as it can possibly be. No,
Totally
no
plain.
fancy bits and frills on it, just the colours.
normally the
patch
same.
ones, and that's it.
I'm not the same, but I do like Chelsea's this year because it's just a little bit different.
Oh, I don't like it.
Oh,
All that
yeah.
weird
I
camouflage.
think it's
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
It's not camouflage. Well, it is camouflage, but it's based on Stamford Bridge. It's the stadium. So
Right.
it's quite. It is. You wouldn't know that unless you actually looked at it. And
Do you
but-
like- you
okay,
like the
I'm
kit
glad.
this year?
I'm glad someone else
I
liked
do.
it.
I preferred last year's the Luke stuff because it was a Brummie
Yeah.
making the kits and a Villa fan making the kits. But I like the old goalie tops, the really
Well, the
Larry
thick ones.
Asics one. Where you have
Yeah,
the
yeah. I
On there.
was talking to someone
Goalie
about this
tops
the other day.
aren't Larry enough.
Yeah.
Well, they're all
Yeah.
short sleeves as well these
Yeah.
days. You want the
Yeah.
biggest pads you can on the elbows.
Neck
Yeah,
one
like that.
as
Yeah, like
well.
that. Yeah.
I always
Yeah.
think like Tim Flowers.
Yeah.
He used to wear like when it was
Was
must have been
Asics?
Blackburn.
Yeah, they all had the same goalie tops in
Yeah.
Leeds,
Look like a
Blackburn.
mine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Newcastle.
yeah. I
All
remember the
long
old Muller.
Muller, yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
goalie
yeah.
top is. I've got that top. It's class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't be the
We've
old
got
school.
QPR's good this year. It's got a normally not overly keen, but it's got like a proper like polo neck collar, which I quite like.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know what the football turn on when it comes to kits. Craig's question.
You said.
Wow, they'll be excited. I'll keep the retention up.
You said that leaving the sad stuff aside, and I just felt this question. See as well, very go through. What is the lowest point we've ever experienced from our respective clubs? Where you're like, this is low.
This is low.
This is
I remember being at the game and I remember thinking,
Yeah, because you do have that moment. You go, fuck, this is shit.
probably. It's do you know what? It's fascinating because I could go. We were in League One and I think we lost 4-0 to Cardiff on Sky, and like the fans were walking out and it was embarrassing.
Yeah, the fans are in
But then at the same time, when we got relegated from the Premier League with players who didn't give a shit,
Yeah.
that was even more painful.
It doesn't necessarily have to be low position wise. Obviously, kind of losing in a final can be just as heartbreaking, can't it?
Yeah, because the playoff final lost that as well.
Yeah.
In extra time, that was gutting as well.
Yeah.
I think, but do you know what? The season we went down the first time when we just chucked so much money at it and people were there who didn't give a shit.
The identity of your club was briefly.
It was minging.
dispersed,
Yeah,
that
it was minging.
gone, yeah.
Yeah, that was it for me probably. Which is amazing, isn't it? When it's Premier League and you're thinking like that.
You say it doesn't
Makes it
necessarily
It
need to be
doesn't
there.
matter. Yeah, it's
the
different
level.
Sure.
Yeah. Mine probably when we lost to Walsall in the League One playoffs. I think it was like 2001. I think it was, and I just remember thinking we're never getting out of this division. Our board was going broke, so I mean you could see that financial stuff coming on the rise. I'm like, shit,
Yeah.
we've got to make a move quickly, and it was just a shock. We got battered 4-1 or something like that before.
You always look bad in these questions.
Well, so
Because you've had a good time.
It's tougher for me. So I mean, like, I've been very fortunate the last, let's say, 25. I'm 33, so the last 25 years is pretty, been pretty
Solid,
decent from, let's say, from 95 onwards.
Mm.
And my memories from Chelsea start very early 90s, right? So when say you're 4 or 5 years old. So
Mark's team.
yeah, well, look, there's a lot of good things there. I always just think one of my not first memories, but things that always sticks in my mind. And again, it's losing in a final. But remember when we lost 4-0 to Man United in the FA Cup final? I was like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And I just remember I was there. It was like one of the first games I've been to, and I was just crying.
Yeah.
So, but it's because you're in a cup
Of course,
final.
you don't have to compete with other woes of football. If it's personal to you, it's kind of just as relevant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go. That's mine.
Yeah.
Dan?
I feel like I've had loads.
What was the lowest?
I mean, the stuff I discussed earlier when we got 17 points, and like you say, people just not caring. And I live in London, and I'm travelling 240 miles every week round trip to just know that we're going to get beat before I've even got there. And I'm going to have to watch Jolly and Lescott play and watch him pretend that he's a Villa fan and things like that. So that was pretty low. There was a League Cup final when Vidic should have got sent off. We lost to Man U 2-1. He gave away a penalty and he didn't even get booked. And we go on and lose that game. It was a shocker. And we did something with Petrov the other week, and he was talking about it. It was just unbelievable that he didn't get sent off. Because I know if it had been the other way around, Richard Dunn was our centre back at the time. Richard Dunn had wiped out Bruna.
Of course.
100% a red card. 100% because it's so early in the game and it's Man U. Phil Dowd was too scared to do anything about it. He didn't even get booked.
That's the man.
Stings, don't it? Yeah.
Quick fire Twitter questions, guys. Jake at JM99 _ something like that. Go follow him. Which players come to mind when you hear the phrase "they cannot afford to lose him"?
In terms of injury or transfer?
He's saying from any from your respective clubs, but I think broader. Go broader.
Cannot afford to lose him. I think last season I was thinking Hazard.
Hazard, yeah.
but hey, we got 4 points this season so far.
I would say, do you know, I was looking at the FPL selected percentages of Spurs. 28% is managers have Harry Kane in their team, and then the next highest is like 9.6%. It's Lucas Moura, who doesn't even always start.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
the Spurs definitely can't afford to lose.
Yeah, because if they lose Eriksen, you don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, I think he's a massive one. I think Aubameyang takes the pressure off Arsenal a lot of the time with the goals that he scores.
I think if you look through, let's just say top 6, right? Because that's each of them have got some stars in there. But I think Spurs is the one really. If you take out Kane, they struggle. But you look at most of the other sides. You take out, let's say, you take Aguero out. You take out Salah.
Do you want
they'd probably be all right.
Yeah.
But look further down the league, and actually like Pookie, if you lose him, that's a massive loss. Grealish is a huge loss.
Van Dijk. Liverpool lost Van Dijk. Their defence is not the same without Van Dijk.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they can't afford. Yeah.
I think that's the answer.
Van Dijk.
Van Dijk's the answer.
Honestly, when I look at like depth of position, I think Liverpool lose them. It's a different defence. It's a different prospect from an attacking team without Van Dijk.
What about not necessarily the back end of last season, but probably the first half and the season before? De Gea. Imagine if Man United didn't have De Gea.
Yeah.
It would have been absolutely nowhere.
Right, isn't he?
Yeah, Romero's at
Do you know what? People will get annoyed at the fact that you said that about Van Dijk. But you can't have it both ways. You can't go, wow, he's the difference, and then not say that he wouldn't make a difference if he lost it.
Well,
to say.
Look at the difference since he's come.
Yeah.
That's it. They're
Champions League finals,
And he is
second in the
amazing.
league.
The obvious one, Messi. Ronaldo.
Yeah, that was her. Right, Bailey. That's Sergeant Steakbake.
Okay.
Where is the league going to be in 5 years? Oh, this is too broad. I was trying to go through it, but go on quickly if you can. Where is the league going to be in 5 years? What's going to happen to City once Pep leaves?
They'll turn into a Chelsea post Mourinho, where they'll occasionally challenge, occasionally win it, but then occasionally have a season where they're third, fourth, and they'll just do that forever.
I think it'll calm down. I don't think it'll be as potent and as dominant, but they're always, well, until the owners leave, they're going to have a lot more money than Chelsea have.
I reckon at some point when Pep leaves, I reckon Mourinho will go there.
You think?
Yeah, I mean that's.
I reckon. Dare, would
I
they?
think that Pep's just created a culture there that no one will be the same as him when they come in, but things shouldn't change because of the culture he's created behind the scenes.
But I think he's so unique that undoubtedly it will change. Somebody won't be able to keep it at that same level, so they'll look at elsewhere. They'll go big names and be like.
But that's such a contrast.
I think they'll go Pochettino.
Yeah.
and then have him for long
and he'll just go,
term.
yeah, I'm gonna have some
I
money.
don't think. I think he'll want to go. He wants to go abroad, doesn't he?
What about
He wants to go to Spain.
I
He
think
wants to do.
that's
Wants to do Real.
I just think of like what Man City like before Pep, but with money.
Yeah,
He's
become-
They were winning
yeah, you
bits.
become-
They were winning bits and pieces,
Bits and
but they
bobs,
certainly
and
weren't as
dominant,
expansive
so-
and dominant. No.
Yeah.
He does. He is such a huge factor.
Yeah.
Ian Barber, very quick one. Yeah, at Ian's _. When could we see a team outside the Premiership win? Oh, he doesn't like Premiership. People don't like that. Premier League win the league or FA Cup. Stoke, QPR, Brentford.
No.
Wait, when can we see what?
When could that happen?
When is a team outside the traditional top 10?
Do you know what I'll tell you?
Oh right, sorry, I
I'll
didn't
tell
hear you
you
say
what
top 10. Outside the top 10, when could they win
A little
the
club by the name
Leicester?
starts with an S. Playing red and white stripes. Sunderland. They're getting taken over by. I think they're Americans who basically watched the Netflix series.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is decent. So I think they've got a lot of money. I think the number I've got in my head is like 37 billion.
Sorry,
So they'll basically just plough the money in, get them up.
but isn't
Yeah.
Leicester?
Get yourself an FA Cup.
Isn't this Leicester? Leicester
Yeah,
did this.
it can be done.
FA
It can
Cup,
be done.
But Leicester did it. I mean, that was
But that's
an absolute
the
freak.
that's the league. All right, cups maybe a little bit different.
Do you know what? And they put Brentford in there, right? Brentford are a very smart club.
Yeah.
So imagine a smart club with loads of money. If they get themselves into the Premier League and then are able to do that and continue to stay ahead of other clubs, although other clubs are getting a lot smarter now, then why not?
I think you can argue that Brentford have to be smart because they've not got much money. If you
But that's
put money
what-
into this scenario, it might change how
They
they
have
operate.
But if
They're playing on their strengths.
No, but my point is, if they get in the Premier League, they have 5 years in the Premier League, they've then got a hell of a lot of money then for the next
Yeah.
5 years.
Different ball game though, I think.
Mm.
The Premier League.
What,
and it's
rugby?
going for it's not as good, is it?
I don't know, you'd know.
Oh, I was at the bar most time. That's a big. Someone like Brentford, it works very well in the Championship, and they'll get to the Premier League and it'll work well there. But taking that next leap and challenging and winning the league, that's a lot.
But it can be done.
Can.
Leicester did it.
Mm.
We finish off with better than Henry's volley against Man United. Okay, for Arsenal. So we had this thing a couple of weeks ago where I basically said that Beckham's goal for United against Wimbledon was alright. I don't think it was.
No, you said it. Your
Basically,
words
it's a
were
goal
like
kick.
it was average.
It's basically a goal kick.
I think you're going to wind him. I don't think.
I'm not. It's
know that's a
basically a
good
goal
goal.
kick. He's had loads of time on the ball. The ball's rolling forward, which makes it easier.
Why are players not doing that left-right centre then? If it's that easy.
It's good vision.
Rooney's done a similar one.
Yeah, loads of
Man,
people.
yeah.
Loads of people. Charlie Adam we were talking about last week was saying that was maybe better. Some people saying.
It's just as good.
The goalkeeper gets his hands with those, so it's not as good.
Although it is taller. Courtois.
Is it?
Yeah, good
Don't
point.
It's got a long,
Neil Sullivan.
got a big neck.
So we then looked at a couple of goals, and Thierry Henry's volley came up,
That's a
and
beautiful
that
goal.
is definitely better
It's a
than
beautiful goal.
Beckham's goal, in my opinion.
I don't think it is.
I
What's
agree.
he on about?
It's definitely better.
It is.
It's definitely better.
Okay, thank you.
Do not
Yeah.
get me wrong, it's a good goal.
I'd probably go with Henry, to be fair.
Yeah.
So it's now moved on. Henry, can we find a better goal? Let us know in the comments below. If we haven't read out your one this week, then just put the comment in again, or think of a new one.
Have we got to think of one now?
So I've got 3 options. Are these goals better than Henry? Ultimately, I made the decision because it was my thing.
Yeah, but I mean, you could say that
I'm
Beckham
happy to
isn't
hear
any
you.
good.
Right. Peter McGrath. Tony, probably Paul McGrath.
No.
Tony Yeboah, spelled it wrong,
Mm.
versus Wimbledon is 10 times better than Henry.
10 times.
Nah.
On the
I
nose
like-
10 times?
It's a lot.
It's
10
iconic.
times, no,
I
no,
think
no.
he's- he doesn't-
Iconic, I would say.
It is iconic more than good.
I prefer
It's
his.
a great goal. It's iconic.
Yeah.
He scored 2, didn't he? What was the other one?
He scored. So the Wimbledon one is when he almost like dribbles.
like
he
bounces
sort
a
of
bit.
Yeah, he sort of dribbles it with it like basketball dribbles it with
Yeah.
his feet,
What's
and
the-
then goes. Boom!
What's the one that he scores at Ellen Road?
That's
Just a
against
half
Liverpool.
volley.
I prefer that one.
That's it.
Do you?
Yeah.
That was the one I was thinking of.
I was thinking
Yeah,
Yeah.
I prefer that one.
So that's better than Wimbledon.
I think so.
Yeah, but it's not better than Henry's.
But it's not, yeah, the base, it's not the numbers though.
It's iconic though.
You don't think they're better?
No.
But the bar, it hits the bar.
Yeah,
Which is a
Henry's
key
goes
factor.
right in the corner. You don't even get any closer to hitting the hitting the
ingenuity.
angle or whatever.
All right, the ingenuity of Henry is probably a bit better from that in terms of the awareness, the swag.
Yeah.
The goal's directly
Shiz
behind
ass.
him, and he manages to spin,
Yeah.
put it in the top corner. I love that goal.
The goalie is smaller, Barthez.
Yes.
Midget.
All right, so Henry continues. Snowboy says Pavard's volley at the World Cup against Argentina. When he goes dun, dun,
I
dun,
thought we were
comes
just
on and
talking Premier League.
swazzes it.
Well, the one where he just kind of
Gets
catches it and
yeah.
it,
Great goal.
it's too floaty.
The shot's too floaty. You're after more power, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's too floaty. It's beautiful, but
Yeah.
it's.
I think it's pretty. It's possibly prettier than on
Yeah.
these.
Okay.
Do you think?
Probably,
I
possibly a more difficult skill. Possibly.
No, I think Henry's is better than that. I think
It's-
that initial
it's not-
technique of Henry's is the main reason it is
It's
Well, the flick
Pavard's
up.
is it's the ball's higher up. He's hitting it at a high level, so he's kind of properly.
Do you know what I say
on one
though?
foot.
Right. So a ball rolling at you, sort of at pace, boom, 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 and you've got to hit it perfectly, or someone rolls you the ball and you just got to flick it up and hook it. That's what I
Is
need.
it-
What's the
you're
hardest?
You're calling it a flick and a hook.
He's just flicked it and hooked it. Is it what's harder?
The
flick
flick
and
and
the
the
hook.
hook.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to be sure. Final one for you, Greg.
I know you're there.
Explorer Tim, Peter Crouch's volley for Stoke City against Man City at the Britannia
Oh,
was better than Henry's volley. Yes or no?
were you at that game?
I wasn't actually.
Why weren't you there?
Oh, actually, I've got one more, haven't I? I've got one more.
Because of Crouch and how unusually shaped he is,
It doesn't look right.
it doesn't look right. It defies a lot of
That doesn't make it
natural
better.
logic.
That doesn't make it better.
kind of should and does.
I think it makes it worse.
Bias aside,
Ah, that's so
It's
true.
not a feat.
It does.
No.
It does.
It's like, oh, he's
Yeah.
done that, has he?
Yeah.
And like Henry celebrating's a bit different to Crouch celebrating as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just going.
they didn't remember that day actually. In front of the camera.
He just, yeah, but his sleeves are like there. You know, when he lifts his hand up. I don't think
When
that's
it- when it
just
you
I think that's
decide.
just a whack. I thought that was a clearance.
Can I just say, so most of these, I don't know if there's, we're going with certain criteria here, but all of these goals are from long distance. They're all long distance. Could they be
Well,
any type
next
of
week.
goal?
Next week, then give us a new category. I have got one more. So, Crouch, yes or no? Better than Henry?
Nah, but I've got one that I think is better than Henry from Premier League era.
Interesting.
Yeah, I prefer Henry's. It looks better.
I prefer Crouch, obviously.
Yes.
Bias aside,
Okay,
it's
well,
infected my mind.
Henry's still better for me. Tommy Robbo, thank you very much for your comment. Great shout. Trevor Sinclair's goal against Barnsley, FA
Yeah,
Cup.
well, you might like that.
Third round, I think it was. I was there, 1997. This will not be beaten. You cannot find a goal that is better than this goal. The cross comes from pretty much the halfway line. It's coming from behind him. It's not even like there, and it's on the right angle. He's caught it flush from outside the penalty box, and it's gone in the top corner pretty much.
I think this one is better. It's ridiculous.
It's better than Henry's.
Yeah.
It's definitely
I'm
better
saying
than
that with
Henry's.
absolute
Any of
confidence.
those.
Absolute confidence.
Any of those.
Yeah.
It's the best bicycle kick of all time.
These pair. Oh,
I just think I've got one that I think is better than Henry's. I've forgotten about Sinclair's goal. I don't know if it's better than Henry's.
Sinclair's is probably better than Henry's. It's a bicycle kick from outside the box. It goes in the top corner.
It's ridiculous.
Look at that goal. Google that goal.
Someone
Where the
else
cross
must have
comes
done
from.
that.
Where the cross comes from is insane. It's not from in line with him. It's from behind him.
Where was Bale in the Champions
That was
League
in the
final?
box.
Was that
But right on the edge of the box, but in the box.
Close.
Sinclair's was in the D, I think.
I don't think that doesn't get enough.
But it's an easy
Blame
one
that
for me.
goal. It's the Champions League final. He's
Yeah,
got a bicycle kick from the edge of the
just
box.
brushed off.
Completely agree.
He
Yeah.
doesn't learn Spanish.
Yeah.
We should have learned Spanish by now.
Won the Champions League for them. Thanks
So
very much.
this is now.
I want to hear Dan.
Yeah,
yeah,
this could trump.
Just because
Sinclair.
I've never seen anyone else score a goal like it. You know, the Burkamp one against Newcastle where he
Did he mean it then?
Did he mean it then?
Yeah.
Burkamp meant that.
Yeah.
Did he?
Burkamp meant that.
Yeah. Well, if you do 0% to 100%, he meant it, right?
It's Burkamp.
Sinclair, 100% meant that. Okay. 100% meant
What else?
that.
What was he doing?
We're
Burkamp.
trying to go for a
I'll
corner.
give you 75% a
I
push.
think that's been lenient. I don't think he meant it.
I think he does mean it.
Oh,
I think he does mean it.
did he mean it? Did he mean it? Let
It's-
us know.
it's-
I think he's my
exceptional
favourite
goal.
ever Premier League player though, Burkamp.
Really?
So I think probably. Yeah.
I still think, even if he didn't mean it, I still probably prefer Sinclair. So it's lost either way. But it is an amazing goal if he meant it. If he didn't mean it, it takes it
Right,
away.
this has just gone up a notch, guys. So the new game's called Better Than Trevor Sinclair. Yeah, Better Than Trevor Sinclair. Use that hashtag because it makes it easier for me with the running order. Let me
Interesting.
know of other goals that somehow,
Think of that.
and give me your reasons why.
John McGinn.
Don't make it too long, like 2 sentences.
That was good.
He hasn't even gotten the Puskas.
Who?
I think John McGinn
John
was
McGinn.
volley against Sheffield Wednesday.
It's
Is it
great.
better than
That was better than
Sinclair's goal?
Pavard's. He was better than Pavard's.
Okay, well, interesting.
Too
Let us
floaty.
know. That's enough. Great podcast, Dan. Where can people find you? Not don't tell us your address.
Yeah.
It's at home, yeah.
At home,
the,
mostly.
the Villa View YouTube channel, which I imagine is going to be of interest to no one.
Wow,
Unless you
go and
come
check it
on.
out, hit the subscribe button, watch it from start to end and find out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on, mate. We'll get you on
Thank you.
again if you're up for it. It's
I mean, you said that last time and it's been 2 years.
So, yeah. But no, we've probably done about 6 since then. So now we're the great touch for a Big Lad podcast,
weekly.
which is trying to be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Exciting. Yeah, that's it. We'll try and wear other coloured shirts as well next time.
Yeah, we need to coordinate better, don't
Yeah,
we?
really
Yeah.
nice to
Wait,
do
no, we made 2.
Sorry, yeah, we did it too well.
that. If you're watching right now, do me a favour, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell for when the next podcast comes out, because it always helps us. Subscribe on iTunes as well.
Yeah.
And let us know your thoughts. We'll see you next week. Right. Sorry about the audio. If we put that down.